turbulence in the relationship between Canada and the U.S. continues to drive down travel to the U.S.
Comes for vacation, I think there's other places I would rather go.
When international travel to the U.S. fell last year, many blamed the so-called Trump slump, arguing that the president's low approval ratings overseas are to blame for the drop in tourism.
It's broad daylight at one of America's busiest airports, but the scene feels frozen in time. Gates that once buzzed with travelers now sit in silence. A decade ago, this place symbolized movement, opportunity, and the excitement of arrival from every corner of the world. Today, terminals that once echoed with greetings and laughter are nearly empty. The flow of visitors from Japan, Germany, and beyond has slowed to a trickle. Even American travelers are rethinking their trips, leaving departure boards half-filled and terminals eerily quiet. How did a nation built on motion and connection reach this standstill? What forced its skies to grow still while the world keeps moving? Under the blazing Nevada sun, the glitter of Las Vegas feels different now. The Strip, once the heartbeat of global tourism, is quieter than ever. At Harry Reid International Airport, the scene no longer matches the city's reputation for energy and excess. According to TSA data, international passenger traffic has dropped by more than 60% compared to 2019. From nearly 4 million monthly travelers, the number has fallen to around 1.5 million, sending shockwaves through the tourism industry. A hotel receptionist on the Strip recalled how the lobby once overflowed with guests from China, Korea, and Australia, their voices filling the air from morning until night. Now, the silence is so deep that even the hum of the air conditioning feels loud. What caused a city that once embodied freedom, risk, and reinvention to lose its spark? The answer lies in the tightening web of bureaucracy and policy that now defines entry into the United States. Visa applications drag on for months. Security screenings have become more demanding. Many travelers sense tension before they even board their flights. A tourist from Singapore put it bluntly, Europe feels easier, safer, and more welcoming. Cities like Paris, Tokyo, and Seoul, once seen as competitors to Las Vegas, have become the preferred choices. Inbound tours from Asia to the U.S. have fallen by nearly half in just 2 years. Luxury hotels across Vegas report international bookings down more than 50%, and 3 of Asia's largest airlines have canceled their direct flights to the city. What seems like a temporary dip signals a deeper shift. For many, America no longer represents a once-in-a-lifetime dream, but a destination that feels complicated, costly, and less inviting. And if Las Vegas, the world's entertainment capital, is dimming, what does that say about the broader American dream? Has it begun to lose its glow? Thousands of miles away, another symbol of American motion tells a similar story. Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, long one of the world's busiest gateways, now feels suspended in time. Several international gates remain closed, not for renovations, but because there are too few passengers to fill the planes. Starting in April 2025, routes to Frankfurt, Seoul, and Toronto were scaled back or eliminated entirely, with no clear plan for return. Compared to pre-pandemic levels, the city has seen a 55% drop in international arrivals. Duty-free shops are shuttered. Restaurants stand empty. Long corridors echo only with automated announcements no one stops to hear. Major airlines from Germany, South Korea, and Canada have withdrawn direct flights, redirecting routes toward Boston or Seattle, cities now viewed as safer bets. But the reasons go beyond travel trends. Chicago's image has suffered years of negative press. Since the unrest of 2020, footage of protests, thefts, and daylight robberies has dominated international media. For many potential visitors, the city has morphed from a cultural beacon of architecture and jazz into a cautionary tale that a tour operator at O'Hare described how her once fully booked schedule, packed with groups from Germany, South Korea, and Brazil, had been cut in half. Her team, once vibrant and overworked, now sits idle, waiting for clients who no longer come. The decline in confidence in one of America's great cities ripples outward. Fewer tourists mean less income for small businesses, fewer jobs for service workers, and a weakened image of America abroad. When a city like Chicago, once synonymous with progress, pride, and innovation, can no longer sustain international travel, it raises a deeper question. Is America still the global destination it once was? That same uneasy quiet now hangs over Florida, where the gateway to joy and imagination has dimmed. Orlando International Airport, once a family's first step into the magic of Disney and Universal, has seen arrivals plummet. Flights from London, Frankfurt, and Toronto, once among the busiest, are being scaled back or dropped altogether. Inside the terminal, immigration counters stand idle. Taxi lines stretch with no passengers in sight. Nearby hotels report occupancy rates barely above a third of their capacity. AFA continues to climb while visa processing times now stretch beyond 4 months. Families from Canada and Asia, who once saw a trip to Orlando as a childhood dream, are looking elsewhere, toward Japan, South Korea, or Europe, where travel feels cheaper, faster, and easier. A 2025 report from the Family Travel Association paints a stark picture. Only 1 in 5 Canadian parents now plan to visit the U.S. within the next 3 years. Just 6 years ago, that figure was 4 in 5. For the first time in 2 decades, Universal Studios in Orlando reported a summer loss, something that didn't even happen during the 2008 financial crisis. The parks haven't lost their magic. The crowd have vanished. That Orlando's decline reveals a broader contradiction. The United States still offers some of the world's greatest attractions, from its cities to its national parks. But the barriers to experiencing them, from red tape to rising costs, have grown too high for many global travelers. What was once a land of openness and welcome now feels closed off and uncertain. Across airports once defined by constant motion, the silence speaks volumes. It tells a story of lost confidence, shifting priorities, and fading allure. For decades, America was where the world came to dream, explore, and connect. But as the gates close, the lines shrink, and the skies grow still, the question remains: can the nation that once set the rhythm of global travel find its momentum again? Or has the age of American movement truly come to an end? It's broad daylight at one of America's busiest airports, yet the scene feels frozen in time. Gates that once buzzed with travelers now sit in eerie silence. A decade ago, this place symbolized movement, opportunity, and the thrill of arrivals from every corner of the world. Today, terminals that once echoed with greetings and laughter stand nearly empty. The flow of visitors from Japan, Germany, and beyond has slowed to a trickle. Even American travelers are rethinking their trips, leaving departure boards half-filled and the air thick with stillness. How did a nation built on motion and connection come to such a halt? What caused its skies to grow still while the world around it keeps moving? Under the blazing Nevada sun, the glitter of Las Vegas feels unfamiliar. The Strip, once the heartbeat of global tourism, is quieter than ever. At Harry Reid International Airport, the once constant rhythm of footsteps, rolling suitcases, and flight announcements has dulled to a low hum. According to TSA data, international passenger traffic has dropped by more than 60% compared to 2019. From nearly 4 million monthly travelers, the number has fallen to around 1.5 million. Sending shockwave through the tourism industry, the hotel receptionist on the Strip remembered when the lobby was a swirl of accents, guests from China, Korea, and Australia chatting over check-ins and cocktails. Now, she says, the silence is so deep that even the air conditioner sounds loud. The once constant shuffle of crowds has vanished. What caused a city that embodied freedom, risk, and reinvention to lose its spark? The answer lies in the thickening layers of bureaucracy and policy that now define entry into the United States. Visa applications stretch on for months, interviews are scarce, and security screenings have grown more intense. Many travelers describe a sense of tension before they even leave home. A tourist from Singapore put it bluntly: Europe feels easier, safer, and more welcoming. That sentiment is echoed across Asia. Cities like Paris, Tokyo, and Seoul, once rivals of Las Vegas for global tourism, are now the preferred destinations. Data shows inbound tours from Asia to the U.S. have fallen by nearly half in just 2 years. Luxury hotels across Vegas report international bookings down by more than 50%. 3 of Asia's largest airlines have canceled their direct routes to the city, citing low demand. What might appear as a temporary dip actually signals a deeper shift. For many, America no longer represents the once-in-a-lifetime dream it once did. Instead, it feels complicated, costly, and less inviting. And if Las Vegas, the world's entertainment capital, the city of light and risk, is dimming, it raises a bigger question. Has the glow of the American dream itself begun to fade? Thousands of miles away, another emblem of American movement tells the same story. Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, long one of the world's busiest and most connected hubs, now feels suspended in time. Several international gates remain closed, not because of renovations, but because there simply aren't enough passengers to fill the planes. Since April 2025, routes to Frankfurt, Seoul, and Toronto have been scaled back or eliminated, with no confirmed plans to return. Compared to pre-pandemic levels, the city has seen a 55% drop in international arrivals. Inside O'Hare, duty-free shops are shuttered, restaurants stand empty, and long glass corridors echo only with the sound of automated announcements. Major airlines from Germany, South Korea, and Canada have withdrawn direct flights, rerouting their networks toward Boston or Seattle, cities now viewed as more stable and profitable investments. The reasons run deeper than AFI or logistics. Chicago's public image has suffered years of damage. Since the unrest in 2020, international headlines have been filled with footage of protests, thefts, and daylight robberies. To many abroad, the city that once symbolized jazz, architecture, and innovation now appears unpredictable and unsafe. A tour operator who has worked at O'Hare for 20 years described how her schedule used to overflow with groups from Germany, South Korea, and Brazil. Now, her bookings are half of what they once were, and several of her staff have been let go. People don't see Chicago as exciting anymore, she said quietly. They see it as risky. The decline of confidence in one of America's largest cities ripples far beyond the airport gates. Fewer visitors mean less revenue for local restaurants, hotels, and small businesses. Service workers who once relied on steady waves of international travelers now face shorter hours or unemployment. And perhaps most damaging of all, the image of America as a global destination, open, modern, and welcoming, continues to weaken. When a city like Chicago, once synonymous with progress and pride, can no longer sustain international travel, it poses a difficult question. Is the United States losing its place at the center of the world's imagination? That same quiet now haunts Florida, where the gateway to joy and childhood dreams has dimmed. Orlando International Airport, long the arrival point for families bound for Disney and Universal Studios, is seeing fewer travelers than ever before. Flights from London, Frankfurt, and Toronto, once among the busiest routes, have been cut or reduced. A limited service inside the terminal, immigration counters sit empty, taxi drivers wait in idle lines, and hotel rooms remain unbooked. Many resorts report occupancy rates below 40%. Rising AFIs and lengthy visa waits, now stretching beyond 4 months, have discouraged